welcome back to another episode.
TVNT, back at it again.
I hope everybody's having a great week, feeling good, feeling happy. How's everyone doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you are. What's going on?
I had a good week. I hung out with lots of friends.
Lovely.
Saw some people I haven't seen in months.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been having a great couple of days.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been good too. I got to do a little traveling for work.
Love that.
Yeah, it was, work hard, play hard. On these work trips, I am working, and this one was a little bit busier than the other ones. It wasn't as relaxing, but it was fun. It was quite lovely. I love a hotel night, a hotel week.
We love a hotel life, just in general. Who doesn't love a hotel life? Cece called me one day and she was like, I'm waiting for my room service, and her room service got there. And I was like, wow, way to taunt me.
Well, I invited you.
I know, but I couldn't make it with this last week. I was busy. I just had shit going on.
You know about the retrogrades, right? Did we ever talk about that?
A little bit.
I think there are 8 planets in retrograde right now.
Yes, and I mean, we're out of Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
but
thank goodness, because that was the hurricane and just craziness.
It was a lot, but yeah, I've just been busy. Work is really busy again for me right now, so I just couldn't make it up there.
Okay.
You know, sometimes even though you weren't far, you're only 30 minutes away. Sometimes just having to leave your house is a whole thing that you can't fathom to do. You can't get it together to do it.
Yeah, it can be a lot. To stay overnight somewhere is a lot.
Oh my God, so much.
Yeah.
And I'm a heavy packer, so I come with bag and pen and some.
Yeah, it's a lot of prep to leave for overnight.
I remember as a kid, one time, me, mommy, and our aunt, it was when you guys were really little. So I was 9, 10 years old. And we were going to stay in a hotel for a weekend just to get away, a little cute little family hotel weekend.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my best friends, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to Fort Lauderdale for the weekend. So we're just going to run some errands to pick up some last minute things. And my friends were like, you're going where? And I was like, Fort Lauderdale. And they're like, you mean the thing that's 20 minutes away from our house? I'm like,
yeah.
We're checking into a hotel. They're like, yeah, but it's still Fort Lauderdale. We're still in Miami, basically.
No, but when you leave your house for an extended amount of time, even just a weekend, you have to prepare. What if you leave something? You're 30 minutes away from the house.
Right.
That can ruin your itinerary for the day.
Literally. And it's sometimes you forget something that's so simple, but you need it. And to go re-buy it is just so annoying.
Yes.
You're oh, why do I have to go buy a whole other lens solution or lotion or soap or whatever.
A razor, something. Yeah, so annoying. If you get a hangnail and you're wow, I didn't pack my nail clip. I didn't think I would need the nail clip this weekend. The nails are done, but some way, somehow, now I need it.
Right. That can be so debilitating. That's why I always overpack on a trip, because I'm I might need this depending on that. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, though, you know?
Yeah. What is your quote like?
Okay, so my quote, it comes from, it's a movie called The Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's super old. And he says, I want to fall in love, but I'm bored of everyone I meet.
Oh, okay.
So basically, last night I went out and my Uber driver was super awesome. And we started talking about relationships. And he's a little older, divorced, has older kids. And we were just talking about the state of dating in Miami. And he was saying, this is not the Miami I grew up in. And I was like, absolutely. He's like, I've seen the shift in people's just mindset and what they're looking for. And I was like, I thought it was just me. I feel the dating scene, when I was in college, was just a lot more serious. Now, no, BFFR, be fucking for real. Nobody is serious. Everybody is so unserious now.
Yeah.
And I'm at the age where I'm I just want someone to live my life with, but I can't find anyone because it's
people suck.
men's.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, I know that dating is tough, and that dating has been tough in like the past generation, like both of our generations. But it's just like, really, none of y'all men want to get it together. Like, really, there's that little of you.
Right. It's just so crazy. And I was saying to the guy last night, I was like, it's like sometimes I feel like, should I leave Miami? Should I move? But you talk to people in any other part of the city, big town, small city, whatever, they're all having the same problem.
Yes.
All over the world, it's the same thing. And so it's like, why leave where you're comfortable, you have your friends, your family, just to go potentially maybe lock down one little man? It's just like,
dating is hard. It seems like dating is really hard in the big cities, but then you look at the smaller towns and it's like, okay, am I even going to get along with these people? These people also kind of get married when they're 17.
Right.
So how many of y'all are left that are good too?
Right. It's just real unfortunate if you're single. So I feel you if you are also a single gal. But at this point, like this entire year, I have not dated at all. And I've been like, okay with that. But at the same time, I'm like, how long am I going to keep this going? Like, if it happens, it happens. I'm not willing to like stress it or like force anything.
You cannot stress those things.
But at the same time, I'm like, niggas, get it together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, my quote comes from The Real Housewives. We're keeping it light today since I just got back from a little hotel life. It's Feeling Giovanni.
I knew you were going to say that.
Feeling Giovanni.
Shout out to everybody that is at BravoCon right now. Like the clips that are coming out of BravoCon are crazy. The housewives are wildin'.
Drunk, and we love it. Do we have another video of Miss Luann dancing on some table?
Last night there was a event held by Andy, and everybody that had a song performed. So Luann, Kenya, Melissa Gorga, who else performed? Somebody else performed. So, you know, they're doing the rounds, you know.
Yeah.
Money can't buy a class.
I love it. I need a good drunken night. I feel like the past couple of times I've been out, I haven't let loose, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I need like a drunken night because you have to follow the vibes of the night. And if nobody else is like drunk, you don't want to be the only wild one.
We were kind of lit at Tina's birthday, though.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
We had a family bowling night.
That was fun.
And we were kind of lit. Everybody was dancing.
We were lit. Yeah, we were lit. Actually, that was a good night.
That weekend, I was lit. I went out twice that weekend. I was like, this is a lot, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be nice. Like a nice fun. I think we should do that next week.
Yes. A nice little drunken night.
Yeah. I'd love a daytime turn up.
Yeah. Just let loose, you know? I feel like the girlies that I've been going out with lately, so fun, but they're more like a chill vibe. I feel like once a quarter, you at least need to wild out.
Depending on the friends I'm out with, is how lit or chill. If I'm out with my best friend, it's wild. It's wild. But if I'm out with like my college friends, it's a little bit more chill
calm.
now. You know, they're all a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. But Mila be wildin'.
Even I guess everybody, that's not their thing.
No, some people are really just like, I'm not gonna get wild.
Yeah, some people, that's just not their thing. That's fine. It's my thing.
I love a good turn up.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so let's jump into the show.
Yes, let's get into it.
Oh my gosh. So I'm so excited for the show that we're talking about today. It's called Tell Me Lies.
Yes, it's on Hulu, and I didn't know this, but apparently it's kind of trending on TikTok too.
Yes, it is. It was a book.
Oh,
apparently.
was.
It was a book, and apparently if you've read the book, you're not going to like the show that much, because it's very different.
Okay.
But I'm obsessed with the show.
Obsessed.
Like, it is so good. Oh my gosh. So it's following the main girl, the main character, Lucy. She is a freshman going away to college, and we're kind of seeing her go to college, develop her friendships in the dorms. She starts dating, just exploring herself. And then we're seeing like present day 8 years later of the friend group reuniting for one of their engagement parties. So we're getting kind of flash forward flashbacks. And so all the flashbacks, which is the majority of the show, are them in college and kind of just how their friendships all unfold. I'm obsessed. So
Yeah.
the flashbacks are taking place in 2007. It's like fall of 2007. And I went to college in 2008. So I just feel like this is my college experience. Like, they're going to frat parties. I was in a sorority. They have all of their cell phones, like some of them have sidekicks and then other ones of them have Blackberries. I literally got to college with a sidekick, and then my second year had a Blackberry. Like, they all had like, they were talking about Facebook. They were like stalking each other's Facebooks. I was like, I literally joined Facebook in 2007. Like, it's just so nostalgic for me. And I feel like they got the time period and all of those little nuanced things about being in college at that time, like, perfectly right.
Yeah, they did get it right. Even with the fashion and the costumes, like all of their skinny jeans, their little like corset and tank tops. I'm like, okay, this is so fitting for the time.
I think some of the costuming is a little off. Like, I would have liked to see more of that like blazer to the club look.
Oh yeah.
Because that was really big when I was in college. And also like those like long tank tops had a moment. So I feel like some of the wardrobing is like a little off, but that's the only thing I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
But everything else I think is spot on. And they're in this like very cute little town in like upstate New York.
Yes.
And it just is such a college campus. Like,
yeah, I love the setting. I love how they did it in New York. You could drive into the city, but then you're in like that very New England, like such a Miami girl thing, but they have seasons.
Right. The fall leaves.
Yeah.
The sweaters.
It's very like what you think of
college
going away
town.
to, college town, what you think of like going away to college looks like.
For sure. Completely agree. What else was I gonna say? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so the characters. What do you feel about Lucy?
Okay, so Lucy she kind of has a screw loose. She's very unemotional. We don't know if it's because of her past trauma with her father passing away and her mom being a crazy narcissist. Honestly, that's probably it. But she is really unemotional. In high school, she said that people used to call her Ice Queen. Episode 1, she breaks up with her boyfriend of 2 years to go to college like it's nothing. And then all of her roommates are like, oh, you're not sad? You were with him for 2 years. What do you mean you never even liked him? Like, that is a little sociopathic.
Right.
But also, you do have empathy for her because she does feel like an outsider, and she doesn't, probably because of her trauma, she feels like the things that are happening to people that are getting them excited, she just doesn't find them interesting. She doesn't find them exciting.
Yeah.
So she feels like very left out, even though this is supposed to be like the best time of your life. She's just kind of like, oh, this is just another day.
Right. She also feels like I don't understand like what the issue with her and her mother is. They haven't fully explored that yet. And I just feel like whatever it's going to be is not going to be that serious.
You think?
Like, I just feel like that's like the mind of a child warping an adult whatever into their problem. Like, you know what I mean?
But her mom was really mean to her.
Really mean?
She was really mean. She guilted her like, if your father was here, he wouldn't be proud of you.
That was crazy.
That was so mean.
That was kind of mean. Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When she did say that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, no wonder she wants to get away from you.
I was like, you can't invoke the memory of the dead father.
Yeah.
That's a little wild. Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just feel like she's a little dramatic for no reason. Like, even with the guy.
You think she's being dramatic?
So she gets to college and she meets her roommate, a girl named Macy. Macy's like very sweet, and then the girls across the hall,
Pippa
and
what's the other girl's name?
Pippa and Bree.
Yeah.
Pippa and Bree, they are all friends, and they kind of like squad up and they go to a couple parties together, and they're just like getting to know each other. They meet a group of guys that are juniors, and Pippa is like kind of dating one of them, and Lucy starts to date another friend, Steven. Steven is
an asshole.
Steven is the guy I most hate. Like, he is that guy that's smart, but treats his intelligence like he's above you and always wants you to prove something to him.
Yes.
And he leads with arrogance and this like aggressive, way of being like provocative and like an asshole and like ultra sexual to a stranger.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle it, then he's like, oh, you're soft, you're this. Like, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that. That is the kind of guy that when I meet, I am like, oh.
Turned off.
Immediately no.
Yeah, I feel like he has such a lawyer personality, so it makes sense that they had him studying poli-sci. Like, I know that poli-sci asshole who acts exactly like Steven.
Yes.
But somehow, Lucy, like, he wins her over. At first, she doesn't like him, which I was like, yeah, he's not likable. But then he kind of grows on her, and she kind of feels lonely, and all of a sudden she's obsessed. And I feel like Lucy is one of those girls that has always had everything easy. Like, guys always liked her. She's gorgeous, you know? So the fact that she has a man challenging her that doesn't necessarily just like wait on her, subconsciously she probably likes that.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And they kind of bond because they have like both have difficult mothers, and they kind of bond over that. And then, I don't know if, are we spoiling it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, unfortunately, in the first episode, at the end of the first episode, Macy goes to a party by herself, and she dies in a car accident. So, Lucy's roommate has passed away, and she has to deal with the grief and the shock of that within the first week of getting to college. So she's obviously very emotional, very triggered by that from the loss of her father. So she's having to process that, and she leans on Steven in that moment. And I think that's what really brings them together, because she was able to really like let her guard down and just be herself. And he does the same with her. Like, I feel like out of all of his friends, or even his ex Diana, like, he can't really be himself with anybody but her, and we see them bond in those ways, and I feel like that's why they're getting so close. But he is just not a good person.
Yeah. Then there's a flip though, because okay, the premise of the show is like this friend group recovering from like this traumatic event that happens like the first week of college, their relationships, them basically growing up, but also the contentious relationship between Lucy, Steven, and Steven's ex, Diana.
Yeah.
So it looks like Diana.
I love Diana. I'm obsessed with her.
I love her. Okay, so Diana and Lucy are very different. Diana is very driven, very I think in episode 2 they say that she has first lady energy.
Yes.
She's very into school. She's also studying poli-sci. She's very into charitable causes. Like, she is that girl.
She's in a sorority. It seems like she's raising money for her philanthropy. She comes from a wealthy family.
Yeah.
And she's just very together. Like, at one point, I think they say, like, Diana is a woman.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also because she's older than them. Yeah. She's also a junior. So I feel like when you're a junior, you kind of know yourself in college. Like, you're ready for the real world. When you're a freshman, you're still a kid. Yeah. So there's like that duality between them. Lucy is like trying to figure it out. And like, she's more artistic. She's not really that focused on school. She can get caught up in her relationship with Steven and
her friendships and all of those types of aspects.
Yeah, she's very much still just growing up. She's a kid. And then Diana is a woman. So I feel like with Steven, he is starting not to respect Lucy, like in the later episodes, because she's so young and because she's so naive. And there's just certain things that at 18, you're not going to get as compared to when you're 21, 22.
Yes. And unfortunately, she's like learning all of those life lessons through him. And he is exploiting that.
Yes, he's taking advantage of her.
Because he takes the moments that he can be really raw and real and vulnerable, like in the 4th episode when she goes to visit him in New York after his interview that he bombed. She goes to see him, and they had kind of said, like, we are not using protection with each other. We're only sleeping with each other. But she sees that he has condoms. So it's obvious that he is probably sleeping with somebody else. And up until that point, we had kind of seen him trying to get back with Diana, but like also getting into things with Lucy. So he's going back and forth in that regard. But when they go to see each other, she brings that up to him and she wants to address the fact, like, are you sleeping with other girls? Like, just kind of be honest with me. But the way she goes about it, it's like not direct. And then what she brings up, she's like, what does she say to him?
Why don't we go to parties together?
Why don't we go to parties together? And then there's a way he
gaslights her.
He gaslights her and makes it about his financial circumstances, the way that they grow up, his relationship with money, his relationship with his mom. And he doesn't really ever address the relationship that they're having together and the issue that they're having in that moment. So he exploits those little things in the relationship, and she's just too young to realize it.
Yeah. I feel like that's why it should be frowned upon to date older when you're still that young.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like an older guy who's 21 can just manipulate and gaslight and take advantage and really damage a young girl that's like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the show. It's showcasing that. And then, although in the first few episodes, it feels like Steven is opening up to Lucy and being himself, you really see him open up to Diana in that moment when he bombs the interview, just because he knows that she will understand and she will be the one to sort of give him the solutions. We'll write down other internships together. We'll apply to all of them together. Like, we're going to get through this. It's not that big of a deal. And I understand you in that moment because I really know you.
Right.
With Lucy, it's just kind of like it's her first real relationship where she's falling in love and she doesn't have her footing.
Right. I really like how they're actually showing all sides to each characters, because we're seeing, I feel like normally we would have only seen him with Lucy. We wouldn't have seen the relationship with him and Diana, but I love that we're getting to see them both and compare and contrast them and see just how he goes back and forth, really. I really enjoy that. And then his friends are all very interesting for different reasons.
Yes.
So his friend Wrigley, he has a younger brother that's also a freshman, but Wrigley's a junior. And Wrigley plays football. He's very athletically gifted, but he's struggling in school. He has a learning disability, and this is 2007. This is not today. And the attitude that people had for learning disabilities, for just disabilities in general, is very different. You see him struggle with trying to accept that and struggle with how he speaks about it. And his friends are making fun of him for his struggles as well. So he feels insecure about that. And he takes it out on himself to his own detriment, but also the people around him by being an asshole at times.
Yeah.
And I like to see the relationship between him and Pippa, because Pippa's an interesting character. She's like not a great friend, but we don't know why. She's like, she says to him at one point, I don't have many girlfriends, and you're trying to jeopardize my friendship with these girls. And we know that in high school, she had to leave her school.
Senior year.
So it's like, what's the story there? We don't know that yet.
There are some secrets there.
Yes. And also, we see that she puts on a front with him and with the girl. She's not really honest about the satisfaction she's feeling with him, whether he's like really treating her well or not. and she tries to like always impress, like show herself in the best light and kind of like fluff herself up in front of the girls to almost be like, oh, I'm more experienced, I'm more knowledgeable, like I've got this all in the bag. Like,
yeah, she, for her
she's
age,
fronting.
yeah, she's fronting for her age, and also being a freshman. It feels like she's definitely putting on a front of like, I don't care with Wrigley, it's just sex, like, very go with the flow. Even in episode 1, she's like, oh, this is gonna be my first semester guy.
Yeah,
but I feel like if she were to take Wrigley seriously, like, he wants to be in a relationship with her.
Does.
So she's kind of like, I don't know.
She's playing her own sort of games, but I think that happens when you're that young and you're insecure. Like, I feel like she's deeply, deeply insecure, and she doesn't quite understand how to balance that. Like, she doesn't know how to, like, admit, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure this out and, like, have a good time and not get hurt. But she can't, like, her pride won't let her. Because the sex they're having is terrible, but she won't admit it. She's like, it's the best orgasm of my life. And it's like, girl, you don't even know what that is because you're not old enough to know. I don't think you know. At 18, I always say, in the moment, the sex that you're having is like for your age. The sex that you're having at 18 doesn't compare to the one you're having at 21. And that doesn't compare to the one that you're having at 25 or 30 or 35 or 45 or whatever. Because with time and just acceptance and just more exploration of your likes, your wants, your desires, and coming into your own as a woman, you develop yourself more. And the sex that you're having in those different stages is just more and more comfortable. It gets deeper, more passionate as the years go on, and you just are trying to ting at 18. Like, you don't know any better, and you're not supposed to know any better. You're supposed to be open to the exploration of what it could be. But she's just like, oh, I got this, I know, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's also interesting to see, because a lot of women at that age are like that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be interesting to see what happens with their friendship, Pippa, Bree, and Lucy, because in the present day, when they're reconnecting at this engagement party, they're almost estranged.
Yeah. I think they both are individually close to Bree, but I don't think they are close to each other. And we kind of see the cracks of that forming in the past. Like, Lucy says, like, she never has anything deep to talk about. She feels like she's a little superficial, and her and Bree sort of bond with that.
Yeah.
And I think because she's always so quick to be on Wrigley's side, that that also forms rift. Like, when you're constantly putting your boyfriend over your friends are like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, and also, in the most recent episode, I honestly feel like she knows about Steven and Diana still kind of trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And maybe she sees Diana often now because of Steven and Wrigley's friendship, and that's maybe why she stayed chatting with her at the party. And like, she is playing both sides and isn't really being truthful with Lucy about what Steven is doing.
I think so as well.
Yeah. And also, another thing about Lucy, because this is her first relationship, she has no boundaries. So, like, if you're older and you kind of have a suspicion that your boyfriend is cheating on you, seeing other people, first of all, you confront them. And then also, you're honest about it with your friends. And you're honest about your feelings. So when she finally kind of expresses, like, I feel like I'm losing my mind here. I feel like I know that something is going on, but it's not really revealing itself to me right now. When Pippa says, oh, but I thought you guys had an agreement that you would be with other people. If Lucy had boundaries, she would say, honestly, I may have agreed to that, but I'm not really comfortable with it anymore. Or like, that wasn't really explicit. I feel like he kind of forced that on us. But she kind of just said, yeah, I know we kind of did. And maybe I am wrong, you know?
Right.
She wasn't truthful with her friends, with the fact that she wasn't really comfortable with their arrangement. And like, I mean, I don't know what would have happened, but maybe if she was honest with Pippa, saying, honestly, I'm not down for him to be with other girls, maybe Pippa would have admitted that he was still with Diana. And then that would have solved a lot of problems, but of course the show is gonna go on like this.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what blows them up.
Right. And I really like that although these kids are like not really being great to each other. That's what college is about. Like, you really don't know what the hell you're doing, and you mess up friendships, you mess up relationships. You're just learning about life in so many ways. And I just like how they are exploring that in a very honest way. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't expect any of these kids to act in the best moral way. Like, even Steven, I do not like him. He's a fuckboy, but at the same time, I'm like, he's what, 20? 21? Like, I can't even fault him. Like, he's just trying to figure it out as well. So I think it's very interesting, the entire show.
Yeah, but Steven is definitely playing God here.
No, he is such a dick. Like, he's an asshole through and through. I really want Diana to find out because I need her to, like...
She is gonna give him one.
Like, when he invited Lucy down to her parents' apartment in the city...
Sick.
I was like, I need Diana to show up. I need Diana to show up. Like, I cannot believe he has this other girl in her parents' house.
Sick.
Like, I cannot believe... Like, men... and their audacity. How dare you?
The thing about Steven is that he doesn't love or respect either Lucy or Diana.
No,
because it was kind of a fuck you to Lucy and a fuck you to Diana.
Yeah. And he thinks that he's smarter than both of them.
Yes, that's the biggest
problem. He's like, I'm playing the game, I'm doing my thing, and I can do this because I'm smarter than both of them, so it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, girlies, that is one of the reasons I feel like people cheat and men cheat. They feel like they can get away with it.
Yeah.
So why not?
Right. Ugh, I hate him.
Yeah.
Oh, Bree, their final friend, the third friend, she comes to college a virgin, and she just, she's like, I just want to get it over with. And I think that's like so honest because I had friends that were virgins that when we got to college, it was like such a thing. It was like, oh, she's the virgin. And I remember when you were in high school, I told you, I was like, just do it early and get it over with. Yeah. Not so much to like encourage her to just start sleeping around, but I was like, people make it such a thing in college. Like, either keep it a secret, keep it to yourself, or just like get it over with, because that age group is like so sex driven that when you can't participate in these conversations the same way, you all of a sudden become this like rare bird, and it becomes like a spectacle. And you see that when Tim finds out, oh, I took your virginity and you didn't tell me.
But honestly, I feel like that maybe wasn't the right route for Bree to take, because if you go into something, whatever hookup, thinking that one situation is true, and then you find out the situation is completely different, no matter what it is, like a man or woman, I feel like you are entitled to feel mad at the other person.
Oh, no,
like,
completely.
What if I mean, not saying that it's a big deal or anything, but what if he just didn't want that? What if he didn't?
No, I agree. What I was going to say is that I think she should have told him.
Yeah.
But in the same way that he was upset, it's like virginity at that age is always like a thing.
Yeah.
On either side. But I do think she should have told him. He was warranted to be upset.
Yeah.
I just think that people make a spectacle of it.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been that big of a deal, but also she should have been honest. I feel like that's something that you should offer up to people, and then they can do with that what they want. And when you're in any hookup situation, I always tell my friends, you need to be okay with him never speaking to you again, just so you know.
Right.
No matter what the situation is, you need to be okay if you are hooking up with this guy with no commitment to never see him again. Mm-hmm. And you cannot be mad at him for that, because you guys have no commitment.
Anytime you walk out of that house, that could be the last time.
Yeah.
I love another thing. I love that they're really portraying like the badness of the sex that some of them are having. Like,
The badness.
Yeah, like so often women are like, oh, the sex is great, the sex is great, and then you break up with the guy or the guy ghosts you or whatever, then all of a sudden his dick was small, it was bad, I never came, blah, blah, blah. Like
then the truth comes out
and you're like, girly, I thought y'all were getting it in and having fun, like what's up? So I just like that they're showing like different kinds of relationships. Even the guy that eventually gets with Bree, the black guy. Mm-hmm. His relationship that he's currently in with the girl, I just think that's such a college relationship.
Such a college relationship.
The girl is a party animal. She does coke all the time, and he's always mad at her. And
they hate each other. They hate each other. Every weekend, it's a fight.
Literally.
That's that type of relationship where during the week, they're fine. But once Thursday rolls around and it's time to go out, they're arguing.
Pure problem.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know so many relationships like that. I would just be on the sidelines like, can y'all break up already?
Can y'all just break up?
Like, you're ruining the vibe. They're fighting again. They're outside screaming. Like, they're in the car. Where's so-and-so? Oh, they're in the car. They're fighting.
I thought they were on the way. They're going to be late.
No, or they get there and they're like, oh, I thought they were here. Yeah, they're outside. They're fighting.
Yeah.
That is such a college relationship. I love to see it. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, but I also think it's so funny how, like, his friends say that he can't be alone. Because there's always that one guy that has the annoying girlfriend. It's like, why are you with her? Why are you always with another one of these?
Right. Always.
Yeah.
There's always one of those in the friend group. I just think the show is so well done. It's so accurate for the time period. It's so accurate for their ages. I'm just obsessed with it so far. Mm-hmm. Did you see the long preview for the rest of the season?
No.
Oh my gosh. They go to, what is that guy's name? The rich one.
Oh, I don't remember his name actually.
Okay, whatever his name is. Who are all of these people? Okay, whatever his name is. Ben?
Maybe. I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. He has like a huge family cabin house, lake house.
Love it.
They go to the lake house for his birthday.
They're going to get into it.
That episode looks so good. That's the next episode after Christmas.
Yes.
This show is so good. I'm loving it. Also, another thing to go back to Steven and that guy. He's like the wealthiest one of the group, but mm-hmm. even though they're all pretty well-off kids except for Steven, mm-hmm. I cannot stand, and maybe I don't know if this sounds bad, but Steven grew up like essentially poor, like not well off, and his family struggled. His dad abandoned him and his mom, and you can tell that she was a single mother and they were struggling. He says like they were like homeless at one point. Mm-hmm. But he makes his friends that have more money and opportunity feel so awful. It's like, I'm sorry I was born into a family that
feel so
like,
fucking bad about it.
Yeah, like his friend is like God damn, like I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my life, and he's treating him like, oh well, why don't you have an idea? I just hate when like at the end of the day you're a child. You have no control over the circumstances that you're born into. And I just think it's such a weird thing when people that are not well off make people that are well off feel bad.
When people who are not well off make people who are well off feel like the villain.
Right. It's like I didn't do anything. I'm just growing up.
Yeah, like you can't be, I feel like it doesn't make any sense to be mad at people with privilege. You know?
Right.
Like, you can acknowledge that they have privilege and you may not, but you kind of have to make peace with that yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't be mad at the world because you didn't have certain things that other people did.
Right.
You can't be an asshole about it.
Right. And especially, I think he's an asshole about it. And I can't stand that about him.
Yeah. And it's not like any of these kids flaunt it.
No, it doesn't seem like that.
So the anger feels very out of place and misdirected. Just, why are you mad?
Right. I can't stand him. Anyways, we're like halfway through the season. Can't wait for the rest of it.
Yes.
We will be giving more updates in the following weeks.
Yeah, we definitely gave spoilers in this episode, but if you haven't started watching, now would be a good time to catch up.
Honestly, just watch it. Like, it's a good show. You don't need the spoiler. Like, this isn't the kind of show that like can't be spoiled.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. And like I feel like we didn't really touch on like the underlying darkness, like the lies. We'll let you guys see that for yourself because it is a drama, but there are also some underlying things that I feel like are gonna come out that make the show kind of a suspense, a mystery. It's very mysterious.
Yes, and I really do like the title of it because none of them want the truth. They all just want their ego to be fed by the lies that they're telling each other. It's like they're comforted in the ignorance of their situations.
Yes.
And I feel like that's so many people, young, old. It's like one of those like constant threads through people's lives and society and everything. Like people just love to be comforted with a lie.
Yes.
They love to live in that like ignorance is bliss and then cry about it after. Love it. Great show. Check it out. All right, guys, it's time for tea. Let's get into it. These are some things that I don't know if we didn't really fully get into them, but just some updates from the past couple weeks that we had missed. First of all, the Apple has taken over as the official sponsor of the NFL halftime show.
Oh.
And for their first halftime show, they have enrolled Rihanna to be the headliner.
Yes. So I didn't know about the Apple thing, but I knew about the Rihanna thing. And I thought we had talked about it last week, but apparently we didn't. I'm so excited.
Me too. It's going to be interesting to see if she brings out guests or if she does it completely solo.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. And I feel like all the jokes surrounding it are so funny. Like, oh, inflation is so high that Rihanna had to go back to work. Children are so expensive that Rihanna had to go back to work.
Right.
But I'm excited. And it'll be interesting to see if this is to promote new music, if this is just like a little comeback, a little 1-2.
Right. Well, she also... I heard that she's also going on tour next summer. So I think she's back.
New music?
I think it's new music time.
The album she's been sitting on for 5 years is finally dropping?
I think so. Supposedly.
Okay, I will be at that show.
Right?
I love Rihanna.
I love her too. I've never seen her live. I've seen her like live with like
as
other people as a guest, but never like her tour.
Yeah.
I've never really... I don't know why, but I have never really wanted to go see her by herself.
Yeah.
But it might be time.
Who does she have songs with?
Drake, Future.
She's not bringing out Drake.
No.
Or Future.
No?
Maybe Future, but I doubt it.
I doubt it. He's not really family friendly.
You think she'll bring out Jay? Lil Jay-Z?
Jay-Z, that would be interesting.
Because that was her crew. Jay-Z, Kanye, Rihanna.
Yeah. Kanye. I don't know.
Kanye ain't coming out.
I don't know. Not right now.
Even if she asked him and he's saying yes right now, he ain't coming out. February? No.
Who knows where he'll be or what's happening with him. He might go into hiding again. Like, anything could happen.
Hiding again? Adriana, he's still in hiding. Nobody has seen his face.
We saw his face. There's pictures of him that have surfaced.
No. What face photo?
I saw a picture of his face at the fashion show.
But the hoodie was covering his eyes. He only had his mouth, and even then he had a beard. And Kanye has never had a beard. Did you see that?
I don't know.
No one has seen his face.
I don't really try to penetrate him too much. I'm just like, you got it. You got it. Anyways, the 2023 Met Gala theme has been announced, and they are going to be celebrating the life and the work of Karl Lagerfeld.
Amazing. Bestie.
I think that's a really great theme. Obviously, he's worked for Chanel many years. He started at Yves Saint Laurent, if I'm not mistaken. I think that he's had an illustrious career, a very large legacy, but people are mad.
Why? They wanted it to be Virgil?
Oh, that would have been interesting, but no. People are saying that he is problematic and he's made lots of comments in the past that are not PC, and so we shouldn't be celebrating a man like that.
Was he? What did he say?
He has said things about, he's talked a lot about people being fat. He's he's fat phobic. But
okay.
I don't know. I just feel like he's of a certain age, and he worked in fashion at a time where you needed to be rail thin. So it's like, can you blame the man?
I don't think that's that bad.
I don't think that's that bad either. There was a couple other things, but mostly it was the fat phobia that people were like, no.
There's definitely a scale of like bad shit you can say and how canceled you will get. Like, if you're racist, that is the worst. Absolutely, you should be deplatformed. And then it goes down. Like, homophobic, that's really bad too. Mm-hmm. Then if you're like fat phobic, it's like, but it's not great, but it's like less than being racist.
I think that's the point that people are trying to make, that all of these things that people discriminate against are equally as bad.
They're not equal.
I don't think so either.
They're not equal.
I definitely don't think, but people say like the discrimination runs deep. And so when we don't take like issues of like fat phobia seriously, that's how it continues and perpetuates.
No, absolutely. It's a problem. Do I think it's as bad as being a white supremacist?
No.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look into like what he has said though.
Yeah, I'll send you, there's been so many TikToks about it. I'm just like, y'all, the man is also dead. Like, it's not like he can apologize. And again, I just don't think people take the context of time into it. Like, I don't think we should ever be excusing like racial violence. That was never to be accepted, even if it was the time period. But to take someone's like, I don't know, like colorist tweets from 10 years ago. It's like that was so prevalent. Like it was a different time. Like I just feel like you have to weigh the scale and like the place in society that we were, because it was very different. It was very different. So that's how I feel about this.
Yeah. If he was fat phobic, that is, well, no, we know he's fat phobic. I feel like, yes, it's bad. Yes, we should address it. But should we cancel a dead man?
Right.
Because of that.
Right. And does that really negate the professional achievements that he accomplished?
Yeah. Questionable.
Okay. Moving on. The fake heiress, Anna Delvey.
Oh, what's up with her? Homegirl.
She's been released from ICE detention.
Love that for her.
She's on house arrest. She is staying. We don't know who she's staying with, but she's staying with somebody in New York.
Somebody she's scamming?
I don't know. But she was seen on the street, like
so
drinking, like smoking a cigarette, like with her ankle monitor.
Queen. Queen shit only. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I just feel like her little story is funny, but you guys know how I feel about scammers. I didn't like the fact that she scammed her friends, but scamming a corporation, not that bad.
Not that bad.
That's why she's released.
Yes. The judge says Anna now has the opportunity to demonstrate her commitment to growing and giving back and being a positive impact to those she meets. She's currently fighting deportation back to Germany.
As she should.
Like scamming rich people that just are willing to give you money is like not a crime to me. Like
the Tinder swindler, nothing wrong.
Like, it's just not, like, you were dumb. Well, why are you giving, like, okay, for instance, who was it the other day?
Not to victim shame, but.
Not to victim shame. But you have to be so overly diligent about who and what you're giving your money to. Now that the allegations and kind of misappropriation of funds that BLM has come forward, different celebrities were like, I want my money back. And it's like, I know that that was like a big organization at the time. A lot of people were donating.
But you don't need your money back.
But also, it's like, did you look into the company? Did you see who the founders were? Like, when you're giving your money to charity, you gotta do your due diligence, because most charities are just money laundering schemes. Like, they're not really all the money that's donated to charity. Why isn't the world a better place? Why aren't these issues better, like, more advanced?
Why isn't the world a better place? I want to see
that all this money going to? You know, I always think that. I'm just like, I don't like to donate to charity, because I just feel like you're just paying somebody's salary that, like, got into the position. Like, I just don't see where they do enough with all the money that gets donated to charity. And corporations just use that as a tax write-off.
Yeah, I don't like to donate to things when it's through, for example, a department store or like a restaurant, because that's just a tax write-off for them. I would rather donate directly or like donate in some other way where I know like it's actually going to get to the people. And you see this when there are natural disasters, when people say, oh, don't just donate to anybody or don't donate money. It's better to send supplies or clothes or goods, because then you can ensure that they're actually getting what they need, and it's not just money going into the abyss that is being used for relief.
Yeah, and we see it happen time and time again. The Red Cross is notorious for doing that. We saw the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation do that with the earthquake in Haiti many years ago. Like, it happens so often. So when these corporations like come up as misappropriating funds and people are like, I want my money back, it's like, why are you still giving to these organizations? Like, don't give your money away to these organizations. If you want to impact the lives of people, go impact the lives of someone in your community. Go pay someone's rent.
Yeah.
Go donate to a school. Go give your time to a classroom. Go spend your weekends at a women's shelter.
Yeah, donate your clothes, donate food, donate your time.
Yeah, like, go sit in the hospital on a cancer ward. Like, donate and give your time and your attention and your funds in that way to places and organizations where you see the immediate, like, effect of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That was spirited.
Yes.
Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is Gisele Bundchen and Tom Brady.
They filed for divorce.
They're filing for divorce. They have both hired attorneys. Gisele has hired a high-profile family attorney here in Florida. Tom has done the same. And I don't know why, but this story has really, like, captivated everyone. Everyone is so interested in this divorce.
Really?
And it will be interesting to see how it plays out, because they're kind of private, but this has been very public, and it hasn't even really become official yet.
Did they have a prenup?
I don't know. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's I'm sure there is.
I'm guessing they didn't, though, because maybe that's why people are gearing up for it.
I don't know. When they got married, apparently she was worth more.
Yeah, she was. And she's still worth more.
Yes.
But apparently Tom's shit is about to pop off.
I mean, I'm sure it is.
Not with football, with other stuff.
With his, like, broadcasting stuff that he's put off. So, I mean, he is a mega athlete, mega star. Like, he will go on to be fine, and so will she. I just think this divorce really boils down, and she, like, put a post up on Instagram and was talking about, like, inconsistent relationships. Like, I don't remember exactly what it said, but she said she was talking about inconsistent relationships. And she stopped modeling. She had those 2 kids. She followed him around the country for his career, and he was supposed to retire. He did. And then he took that back. He was like, oopsie, nope. And I just feel like she was just like, when are you ever going to give us the time of day that you give football? Like, at the end of the day, like, we're your family. We've been following you around, feeding your ambition for all of these years. When are you going to give that back to us?
Yeah.
And I can see why she is like, I'm done.
That's real. Yeah.
I've been doing my brujeria on you all these years. You have all these championships, and now it's my time to go back to work, and you're coming out of retirement. Goodbye.
Yeah, no, I fully believe it. And I feel like people are really interested because he's very much an America's
icon,
sweetheart type figure. Like, he had the wife, the kids, the football, you know, committed to his family, committed to his job, and it's kind of falling apart. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's why people are really intrigued as well.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, because you know about, like, she's a witch.
What?
So
what do you mean?
It's kind of like very well known that she's like a witch.
Okay, she's Brazilian?
She's Brazilian.
Yeah, okay.
And she makes altars for him in the locker room.
Wait, what?
She has him basically reciting, he says they're like affirmations or like mantras.
But they're chants.
They're chants.
They're spells.
They're spells. And she has him drink certain things, carry certain crystals, all this stuff. And he's like, I wouldn't be where I am without her. And so lately he's been looking a little frail and sickly. And everyone's like, she is sucking the life out of him. Like, at the end, I honestly, we'll see how the season plays out. I will not be surprised if he gets seriously, like terribly injured. Like, I think she is going to lift that protection or whatever she has on him.
Oh, yeah.
And it's over. Like, she's going to make him pay.
Oh, no. I didn't know she was a witch.
She's a witch. And
no wonder you said all this brujeria.
He talks about it throughout the years like, oh, yeah. Like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you know, my wife, she does these things and she makes me do these things and it's great. And, you know, and she really has helped me.
Alrighty. Well, she is Brazilian.
Mans has had witchcraft in play and decided I'm gonna keep playing. Like, that's not a person I would want to mess with. He is gonna mess around and end up in a wheelchair.
Tom, you okay? My God.
There's just certain people you don't mess with. Like, if you know.
Yeah.
There are certain people you don't cross.
Oh, I'm scared for him.
Your witch wife is not the person that you cross.
I'm scared for him. Didn't know that. Wow, little fun fact.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that Gisele was into that?
She be doing the things. And you know what's crazy? Since the summer, she's come out of retirement, and she was on the cover of like 4 different magazines over the summer, and I was like, wow, she's like really coming back. And then when he like came back out of retirement, I was like, oh, this is not good.
Yep.
Because she wants to get back to work. Like, the supermodels are reigning supreme again. Like, it's her time. She is the queen. She looks so good also.
That walk. Well, now I know. She's got the fountain of youth. She's got the forces.
Probably. Yeah, she looks so good. There's, I actually have it coming in the mail. I ordered it. She was on the cover of British Vogue over the summer. No, not British Vogue. Harper's Bazaar. Baby. Stunning. I was like, I need the physical copy of this magazine.
Wow.
Like, she looks so good right now. He fucked up. He fucked up.
Damn.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got to talk about this week.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the TV&T podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to us wherever you are listening. You know all the places. Also, just a housekeeping note. Starting next week, our episodes will be dropping on Friday. This is the last Saturday episode. We're just making a little switch. You'll be getting all of our future episodes on Friday.
Yes.
She's
looking at me like,
I'm like, that's it?
Are we?
Are we? Okay. Wherever you're listening to us, please leave us a 5-star review. You know, tell us something nice.
Only if it's nice.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up. And we will be back next Friday for another episode to serve up the tea on the latest TV and pop culture news. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.